Hey, this is Bill. Glad to have you back. I wanted to do something a little simple but elegant. This is something I wanted to make a while back, but I've really been conscientious about food costs, and so I'm really looking for when stuff's on sale. I say I pull the trigger, and this is when I'm going to make it. I know we're all kind of in the same situation of you gotta, it's a lot more expensive, to feed yourself and your family, but we still need to enjoy cooking, and you still have to remember that making things from scratch is always going to cost less than buying that prepackaged food, right? So today what I've got here is this really elegant but simple crab soup. One thing we got to remember is I'm going to start with a really good roux, and is a great chef, scientist, Elton Brown always said, when you're doing this you need to weigh your flour out. So I needed 3 ounces of butter, which is 6 tablespoons, and I needed 3 ounces of flour. And I just got the butter here, just melting. It's almost done. I want to do it kind of gradually. I don't want to get it really all turbulent and I'll burn up the flour. And it's looking pretty good. So if you don't have a scale, you can look. I'm going to leave it up to you to find what the manufacturer says, because what they say online, because I really believe it's hard. I got this flour, and I actually got the discount flour, the generic brand, and there's definitely a difference in how it works. I'm kind of usually a gold medal guy, and I wanted to try it to see, and maybe it wouldn't be as important in this. But the difference would be huge when you're baking, especially if you're trying to bake something really cool, like an angel food cake, or that is self-rising, but any kind of cake. All right, so my butter's definitely melted. Now, what I love to do before I zero out my scale is I take a paper plate and I put some wax paper on it, because what easier way to put flour in than just to run it right off the wax paper. No static electricity, nothing, it's boom. Okay, just want to take my spoon here and so you want to really stir it, make sure you get the lumps out, but you want to cook it. It needs to cook for a good minute so we can get that kind of raw flour taste out of it. So I tend to make sure I'm doing this a little slow. But then we're going to be pouring in some cold liquid. If I were using a stock or a broth, I wouldn't have to worry, because that can be room temperature. But I don't tend to leave my dairy products out room temperature. So I've got a nice paste here, mixed up really well. So now what you need to remember is you got this all fine and dandy, and this is like an explosion waiting to happen, because when I put the liquid in, it's going to thicken really quickly. So what we want to do is start out really slow and just keep adding. And because we've got a cold liquid, we're going to bring that temperature down to your pan. So you're probably, after a couple whacks of half and half, you need to turn it up a little bit. Alright, it's beautiful. It's been cooking for a minute, no lumps. Just like I said, I got my half and half. Why don't they make like a 3/4 and 3/4? What's this half and half stuff? I don't know. Alright, so I need a whole quart. And the first couple pours I do, I'm really careful because I really want to make sure that we don't make it all lumpy. Because if it's lumpy, I'll be grumpy. Okay, perfect. And these heavy bottom pans really hold that heat, so I'm in pretty good shape at this point. I'm just going to turn it up a notch. Had it on low. This is the first time I'm really going to turn it up. So I got to get a little bit of that heat back. You know, sometimes a lot of this has to do with how your stove functions. And so you really got to practice and get to kind of know your stove. And every time you get a new stove, you need to retry it again. Like I said in my last video, we're talking about ovens and baking. What a huge difference, you know? Make sure you're mixing up really good. And you could whisk it if you want. I'm just trying to keep my eye on the pot here. Usually about now I'm saying, oh, this smells really good. Not a whole lot to smell here. It's flour and butter, so I feel like I'm trying to create one of my fantastic turkey gravies. Okay. Now I've got enough liquid in here, and I'm not worried about getting in the corners. I'm still keeping my spoon handy. I want to just whisk to make sure we're really keeping those lumps out. Beautiful. I always feel like I'm in the home stretch when I get that nice, glistening. Oops. Just want to start to see some, little micro bubbles coming up. I go back to stirring. I don't need to be whisking. I have everything incorporated, unless my pan gets too hot and starts sticking on the bottom. Nice, bring this up. I really am trying to check for temperature more than anything else. You want to keep your heat down low because you don't want to scorch the bottom. So. Alright, beautiful. Got it nice. So what I'm going to do to throw this kind of into a tailspin is I've got two teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Bet you didn't see that coming. I need some good old-fashioned black pepper. Don't be shy with it. And believe it or not, I want a tablespoon of Old Bay seasoning. I think I'm going to have to probably whisk this to get that. Get all that stuff mixed in there really well. Now I can say it smells really good. Coming up to temperature really well. You can tell. Before I get this all served up, last thing is I need a 1/4 cup of dry sherry. Alright, so now the important thing is I need to let this get all those flavors together because I don't want to cook it a whole lot once I get the crab meat in. So what I want to do is I got to get my crab meat out anyways. So let's take a quick break. I got a good cream soup here. I just need to let you see it's got a good coating on the spoon. So let's take a minute. I just want to let this kind of sit before I get my crab meat out. So we're going to see you back in just a minute. Alright, so we've got this heated up really slow, and it's perfect because now I've got the Old Bay is really kind of bloomed out. You know, you can really start to taste that celery seed in there. The Dijon mustard's really opening up in here, so I really think really worth your effort just to wear your arm out and stir it a little bit longer. Okay. So I vote yes on this. I definitely think this is great. Oh yeah. Got a good soup. Got a real good thing going here. Alright. Let's make room. So, I have a cup of lump crab meat here that I've been letting strain when I was off camera. Now I just need to transfer it in. Remember what I said, we don't want to beat the heck out of it. So now I just want to kind of incorporate it. Still got my heat fairly low. The heat's going to help kind of break it apart. Nothing like, I love fresh crab meat. It's really funny because I was watching TV last night because nothing was on. And I was watching a chef do this thing where he makes this bolognese with crab meat, and I'm like, I do that all the time. It's like one of my favorite things. So I felt pretty honored that he stole my recipe. Just kidding. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, this is looking really, really perfect. Like I said, this isn't the kind of thing you want to sit down and have a big huge bowl of, but it's just a little rich, but it's going to be just so beautiful. Still looking to make sure I've got a couple of the big clumps. Probably could have broken up by hand before I put it in here, but I wasn't thinking. I really don't want it to continue cooking, I just want to heat it through. So I turn my heat off, heat's off. Just looking for any chunks. You know, this is all pasteurized, the crab meat is, so it's not like you're dealing with raw crab meat. Oh yeah, okay, now I got something to brag So, what do we do now? We dish it up and eat it, right? Dijon mustard adds so much to recipes. Oh. So let's get in here. If you like crab meat, this is definitely worth trying. So, because it looks so bland, only thing I recommend is a little bit of chive on top. Need a little bit of something. Because remember, we're not putting any onion in. And if you wanted to impress your friends, you can take some whole chives, just kind of make some really cool little X's in here, and it just looks pretty. Enough said, this is exactly how you want it. It's beautiful. Move it off the heat. You know, I'm even thinking you could go old school and throw some oyster crackers in there if you want to, because that's what it reminds me of. But I really think that you'll just enjoy this the way it is. I can't wait to dive into it. So what I'm going to say is really short and sweet. Please subscribe. Please comment. Please hit the notification bell. And please try some of these recipes. And just like I always say, have fun. You know, take a little time and make something really cool. And just because we're all poor doesn't mean we don't want to have to celebrate and have fun and, you know, make something a little more fancy. So anyway, enough of that, because I got to try this. So we're going to see you back next time. Have a great day.